All right, so we're going to talk now about building a marketing system. I've alluded to this earlier. I teach a lot about this. It involves using automated marketing systems like Keep. I'm going to give you a very brief overview of how that works today to give you a sense of what it can do. They're very easy tools to use. They used to be difficult and complicated, and they keep getting better and simpler all the time. And I'm going to show you how exactly to do that. So if you need to acquire new customers, that means you need leads, right? Building a marketing system and using an automated tool set to capture and nurture leads is the best way to acquire new customers. Your only other choice is doing it the old-fashioned way, which is advertising and hoping they walk in your place of business. And a lot of you are still doing it the old-fashioned way. That is the old-fashioned way, literally. That's not the way to do it. Today, if you need new customers, you need to acquire new customers, you need to acquire leads, and you need to nurture them. So let me show you how to do this, okay? And I'm going to give you a real-world example. So one of the things I'm involved with, I was very excited about this. My partner and I, my partner in crime, Gary Parker, have started a foundation called the Indie Film Foundation. It's my other day job. We're very excited about this, and we have a campaign going on now because we also have a film school associated with this. We do film and television and marketing and advertising. We do it all. But the film school, we have a campaign, and I think, a total of 7 postings, and these are ones that I prepared in Photoshop. If you don't have these skills to do this, then hire a graphic artist. It doesn't cost that much. You have to write the copy and just say what it is you want to say and tell them to make it look pretty. They can do it, and then if you have all the ammunition you need to do a campaign that lasts 2 or 3 months or more. And by the way, you can rerun it year after year. So make it pretty, make your postings, and then you're prepared to do the postings. So here's an outline for what we can do, and this is a lot. You don't need to post more than once a day, and in some cases that's too much. But we're being very aggressive with this campaign, so we're posting up to 4 times a day in Facebook and LinkedIn. And each one has a different message, but they're all designed to drive traffic to the film school. And we're actually doing the first class is free, so we're driving traffic to the first free class. And that's our plan. It's very simple. Once you lay this out, it doesn't take you 5 minutes to do it, so there's no excuse not to do it. I hear small business people telling me all the time, well, I can't remember to do it, I can't do it, my day's too busy, there's not enough time in the day. It takes 5 minutes to do a posting if you've already got it prepared and ready to go. Team up with a graphic artist, get it ready to go, and then just discipline yourself and make a spreadsheet and put a check mark every time you post so you have a track record of what you've done. Here's how it works. So if they see that and they click on it in Facebook or LinkedIn, it drives them to a landing page. You can create a landing page in Keep. And the landing page is the other part of the ad, right? So it could be very simple if you just want to capture their contact information, their email address. That's called a squeeze page, by the way. You don't put a lot of information about what it is you're advertising. You just capture their information and let them go. But if you really have a real ad, it's hard to put a lot of information in a post. What you can do instead is, and particularly if you're doing a Facebook ad, by the way, you literally cannot put much information in it. So you have to put the information in the landing page, and that's fine. So in this example, you'll see there's some information there about the school, and then there's the form to fill out. There's the form. All we're asking for is their first and last name, their email, and phone number. Now what happens when they register, they can watch the first class for free, but it'll send them to the PayPal page where they can actually buy the course if they want to buy the course. So it's a good example of selling an online product, but it'll work for anything. If you're just trying to capture leads, all you want to do is get their email address so you can email them. So really just put your value proposition there and then capture their email address and their name, and then you can email them automatically over and over and nurture them until they become a prospect. It's very easy to do, and it works. So here's some information in Keep. This is a made-up campaign, so I don't really have any real numbers on this, but I just show the submissions. You'll see here, Keep will track emails. They'll track the number sent, the number delivered, the number of opens, the click-throughs. Keep will track click-throughs not only in buttons and emails, but also in buttons in forms, right? So if somebody submitted a form, it will count that, and you know, if you get 32 submissions, that's pretty darn good. That's a good number. And of course, you could get a lot more than that. Keep, I'm going to show you how you create this. This is really pretty cool. What you're looking at is Canvas 1. They have 2 levels to the canvas. And you see all these little features here, these little tool sets on the left. They call them goals because every time somebody does something, it's basically you're achieving a goal. Every time they submitted a form or looked at a landing page, every time you've applied a tag, every time they've opened an email, that's an achievement, right? So they try to get you to think in terms of goals. But these tools are very easy. You just drag and drop them over on the page, and then they automatically connect to something else, right? So I have a landing page. I'm not going to show you the tool itself because it's dumb simple. Anybody can create a landing page very quickly using this tool. And once they fill it out, then they go into this sequence. This is called a sequence. I've named it my tag and notify sequence, and if I click on it, it'll open up level 2. So this is level 2. You'll notice there are a lot of other tools on the left. It's a different set of tools, so I can do different things. I can send out an email, I can apply a tag, I can create a task. And that's what I've done here. So I immediately apply a tag. Tags are a great way to segment your customers if you know what segment they're in. If you've asked them, are they a man or a woman, you can tag them as a male or female, and that works great if you have a hair salon. If you don't, you can just tag them that they replied or responded, they're engaged with you, right? They responded to your campaign. So at least put the name of the campaign on them at a minimum, right? So you know that's where they came from. I created a task here. Again, I'm not going to show you the task. I want to be brief, but the task is simply contact this person, right? If it's a lead, I'm the minimum, I'm going to email them, so the system will send me an email and remind me to email them or to call them. And if you have salespeople, well, okay, you just automated that process and made their life a lot simpler. I also have an email that's a customer notification. Those are my titles, by the way. I'm sending a notification to the customer thanking them for filling out the form. Always do that. Thank them for that. Let them know that you heard them, right? You don't create an automated process and not fail to acknowledge there was an engagement, right? That's a no-no, right? So I thank the customer, and then I also send a company notification to the president, the CEO, the sales manager, somebody that, oh, by the way, look what just happened. Somebody requested some information. We got a real lead. We're going to talk about your overall strategy, but I just want to say this. We are going to have a follow-up workshop, online workshop. It's only $99. So if all this is new to you, come back, sign up for the workshop, and we'll have up to 3 hours of content explaining all this in greater detail. Literally everything I've been talking about all day. We'll go over everything. Today, I'm just trying to give you a jump start to get you started right with a strategic plan that will work. So let's kind of give a review here of the things that I've been talking about and what needs to be in your plan. As we said, you should be building around the strengths and advantages in your market. You should be looking at, what can you do and what's going on with the business environment. What should you expect? Well, Trump said it himself, the impact on the economy is worse than the disease. If you're a small business owner, you identify with that. You've been sweating bullets from the day your business was shut down, and you've been worried to death, sick to death. How do I get it back without losing my business, without firing employees? If you were lucky, you got some help from the government on that. If not, you're on your own. Testing is going to be critical, and let me explain why testing is so important. Remember, we talked about the fear of doing business with you. You've got to do everything you can to make your customers feel like it's safe to come back and do business with you. And a lot of them are not going to care. They're going to be back tomorrow, if not today. But some of them are going to hold back and be concerned. Testing is going to help solve that problem for you, because as testing increases, we're going to get to the point where we're testing everybody, and everybody's going to want to be tested. Then the population, the entire country, is going to get a better handle on just how dangerous this is, and it's far less dangerous than we were led to believe. If you get it and you have a comorbidity factor, if you're diabetic, obese, have COPD, dealing with cancer, anything that could make it worse, it is very serious. We acknowledge that, right? And we need to protect those most vulnerable people in society. But the rest of us need to get back to work. Testing is going to make it apparent to everybody that it's serious, but if you're pretty healthy, it's not as dangerous as we've been led to believe. I don't believe it is. It is very dangerous if you get it and give it to somebody who's vulnerable. So we still have to do our best to protect everybody. We do. Whether that means wearing masks, social distancing, we need to do that. But we still need to get back to our lives and start making money again. Testing, I think, is going to take the pressure off, the concern, and a lot of the pain away, and that's going to help you reassure your customers. And that's going to happen organically, not necessarily something you need to make happen. Social distancing will continue at least into the fall. That's just my prediction. I think a lot of behaviors are going to become permanent. I think there's going to be a lot less handshaking going on. What does that mean for your business, right? So if you're a restaurant, it means a lot. It means you got to spread out the tables, the chairs. You got to find creative ways to add space. How much outdoor space can you add? What does that mean for your business? If you're lucky, it's not going to have a huge impact and you'll be okay, but figure that out. A vaccine will solve the problem, but when is that going to come? They've been saying not till next year. There's some news now that maybe they could get it sooner. Let's hope they do. We don't know for sure. You may have to limit the number of customers in your business. That's true for retails and restaurant. B2B is not such a big issue, but you're going to have to deal with that. Some consumer businesses will have minimal social distance challenges. So things like dry cleaners, auto repairs, home services, business services, they're not going to have as big a problem, but be conscious of it. Be respectful of it. Don't hold your hand out and expect everybody to shake it. Stick out your elbow out there if you have to. A lot of my friends are doing that, but don't shake anybody's hand unless they hold their hand out first. And as far as I'm concerned, you can politely deny to shake anybody's hand right now. The economic recovery is likely to be slow for most businesses through the end of this year. That's my view. I hope I'm wrong. I'm thinking we're going to see a short-term V-shaped curve over the next 30 days because there's all this pent-up demand. But I think then we're going to go into a U-shaped curve and it's going to be slow. And then we hit the fall and we could have this thing come back, so it could slow down again and then go into another U-shaped curve. If we go back to full employment in 12 months, I would be super happy and I'd be a little bit surprised. So as I say, plan for the worst and hope for the best. The travel industry, that's not going to recover for a long time. We know that. And you can see how bad this pain is going to be for the whole economy. Just consider travel, entertainment, sports, and throw in on top of that 30 million unemployed, plus more that we aren't counted, like independent contractors, people that own their own business and can't unemploy themselves. There's a lot of pain. 30% drop in GDP, maybe greater. This is like the Great Depression. This isn't like 2008. So I hope that you've been taking a lot of this advice to heart. I think you have a good chance of saving your business. If you can just hold on, then I think you can make it through it. Let's talk a little bit more about the business environment. So large parts of the workforce have discovered that working at home really works. right? So what does that mean for businesses? Businesses are going to be much more likely to let you work from home. And I think you're going to see a lot more employees working from home, because guess what? A lot of people can be even more productive at home. Why is that? Well, isn't home full of distractions? Kids running around, TV. I mean, people aren't disciplined. As an employer, how can I trust my employees to work from home? Guess what they don't have? They don't have other employees. They don't have drama. They don't have all these distractions at work that you can't ignore. You can't ignore distractions at work. You can ignore distraction at home. You work from home, the first thing you do, you set up a home office and you have rules. Kids don't come in here when I'm working, right? The kids stay out, the dogs stay out, I'm not watching TV. It's amazing just how productive people can be working from home. So think about that as an employer. What does that do for you? You need less office space. You can save rent on, if you've got a lot of people can work at home, and maybe it's not everybody. Maybe it's 50-50. Some businesses are going to have to do that just in order to spread people out. Well, okay, get rid of half your office space. That's going to make you more profitable immediately. Consumers, they've discovered eating at home and Grubhub. Have you noticed how many restaurants are now offering pickup service? David Dodd, who I interviewed earlier, you saw my interview with David, he was telling us about a restaurant who is now selling food like a grocery store, uncooked, prepared meals, uncooked. So they spread out their tables for social distancing, and they put up little mini racks to fill up the space with take-home meals. So you can go to the restaurant, eat a meal, grab a couple to take home for the next night or two. Brilliant idea, brilliant. That one idea could save so many restaurants. So if you are a restaurant, think about that. Great solution, right? Consumers have accelerated their move to online shopping. What that means for you is, if you have the ability to have an app and provide at least some products and services online, now is the time to do it. Go online if you can. We've all discovered the importance of protecting seniors, so be respectful of that, right? Recognize that your customers may have seniors living at home. Families are going to not stop seeing each other, right? That's part of the challenge of this. So everybody's going to do what they can to protect seniors, but that's why we have to keep doing social distancing, and in some cases wearing masks, whatever we have to do. So be respectful of that, and help your customers feel that you are a virus-safe business. I think we need to create a banner, virus-safe business. Make up your own, put it outside your wall. Americans will demand that our government be better prepared. And I'm not being political. I'm not blaming either party for this. I'm blaming, this is a systemic solution. We walked into this unprepared. I think we overreacted. I think a lot of small businesses are going to go out of business because we overreacted. And that's sad. That's really sad. I'm going to double down on my work with seminars. I was thinking I was going to go away from it and just do TV shows, but I know there's a great need out there. I'm going to serve as best I can, providing as much free content as I can to you to help you get your business up and going. And I'm going to do my best to provide the paid-for content that we give, design that to help you get through this as well. I've already mentioned before, we will offer a paid version that's much longer than this. I hope you found this useful, but if you're interested, we'll be providing information about that very soon. Also, the social distancing is, as I said, that's going to continue through the summer, and some's just going to be permanent. And, you know, I hope airline industry and the travel and cruise industry and the hotel industry and the travel industry recovers quickly, but they're going to have a tough time. All right, so I already touched on this, but I'll go over it again one more time. Why is testing going to change the game? Because we can know who is safe to go to work and quarantine those who are sick. That alone is going to make it much, much easier to deal with this stuff. Mass testing, as I've said, will reveal the death rate, which is likely to be much lower than has been estimated. That's going to make people feel more comfortable and relax. And when people understand the virus is highly contagious but not as deadly as thought, they'll become more comfortable living with the risk and doing business with you. Testing will also allow us to quarantine only the sick, leaving the rest of us to work safely and play. That's the herd immunity that everybody talks about, so we can all go back to our lives. Build your strengths and advantage around your market. I'm just reviewing here now for you what we talked about. Be realistic about your financial situation. Close your business. Don't hesitate. If you know there's no chance you can make it, shut down and change your life, change your career. Don't go broke. Don't go deeper in debt if you feel like there's just no way you can make it. But if there is, if you think you can squeak by, figure out a financial plan that'll get you through it. Identify both the good and the bad about your market. Focus on your existing customer base. Get your existing customers back as fast as you can, and design campaigns to reach out to them and make that happen. Communicate as often and frequently as possible. Use all the marketing channels you can afford. At a minimum, be sure to use Facebook, LinkedIn if it makes sense, and your existing contacts. Give strong incentives. I mean strong incentives. Double anything you've done in the past. Don't have to do that permanently, but for the next 30 days, double or triple any offer you've ever done in the past. Give your customers a reason to talk about you in social media. Have them saying, oh my God, these guys are offering 3 times 30% off, 80% off, or it's free, 2 for 1, 3 for 1, whatever it is. Give them a reason to talk to you about your business in social media, and they will. And they'll be more likely to come back. And bring new customers. Referral fees. The referral fees are the easiest thing in the world to do. Try to hold an event to promote it everywhere. That's my number one piece of advice for you. Hold an event if you want and need a lot of new customers, and just make it a party. Have a good time. And ask for their help. There's nothing wrong with asking your customers for help. In social media, share your story. Talk about your struggles. Talk about what's going on. We don't have a foundation for small businesses, and I think we need one. The government is provide only partial aid. Maybe we should start one, a foundation to help small businesses, right? But guess what? It already exists. It's organic. The community is filled with people. Let your customers know you need them to come back. Ask for their help. They will do everything in their power to help support you if they can afford to do so. So tell them you need them. Use quality posts. I hope I emphasize this. Most small business people will try to do everything themselves. And if you're not a graphic artist, if you never worked in Photoshop, go find one. You can go to a local sign store and get them. You don't need them to do much. Just have them design posts, 4 to 7 or 10, 12 posts that you're going to reuse over and over again. Do that for every campaign that you do, and it will simplify your life. I highly recommend, if you need to acquire new customers, you use a database system like Keep, and you continue to communicate with them regularly. Learn how to nurture them and convert them into new customers using content marketing to do that. Didn't get a chance to talk about that today, but we'll go into great detail about that in our longer workshop. Set goals for growing your business and invest in marketing. Is the most important thing you can do. So include in your plan these things. Identify key opportunities and threats. Write these things down so you know. As part of your plan. Design a campaign to reach out to your existing customer base. Write down what you're going to do. How are you going to reach them? What media are you going to do? What ads or offers or promotions are you going to use? What events are you going to do? Do a second campaign to bring in as many new customers as you need. Figure out how many that is, and that's a second campaign, a completely separate campaign. So here's the deal. You can offer something that's only can be accepted by a new customer. That's perfectly legitimate, but it creates a problem. What happens when your existing customers find out they didn't get the deal? Well, there's some ways you can handle that. Make them come in and ask for it at some special event. If you have an event, that's great. That solves that problem. In fact, you don't even have to exclude existing customers if you do it that way, because probably if you design the event right, or the campaign right, you're only going to get new customers coming in for the event anyway. And if some of your old customers come in, well, you can give them the same deal. Now you're not discriminating. The law doesn't require that you do that, but why create a problem if you can avoid it? That's a great way to deal with it. If you do a campaign and some customers respond to it, give them the same deal. It's fine. It doesn't matter that they didn't all get it. And if they later they find out, you say, well, that was a special campaign we did to restart my business because I was broke. And they'll say, oh, okay, that's fine. They won't complain. But event also has that extra advantage of being able to do that. Use social media with postings. I can't emphasize that enough. It works. If you combine that with paid for online ads or just boosted posts, it works even better. Build a landing page to engage your customers and new prospects so that you can get them to come into the business, right? You want them coming into your place of business, right? And provide strong incentives to bring your customers back. Write down what those offers are going to be and stare at them. Make sure they're good. Make sure they're powerful. I want you to literally list out the things you're going to do, and then you also need to include in that what logistics are involved in that. Be a good little project manager. Figure out what is it you have to do. Write that down. Put it to a timeline, and then follow that timeline and stick to it. And then that's how you implement a good marketing plan. Also make that a 6-month plan and track your results, all using those key metrics that I showed you. So you did it before, right? You started your business. You started it from scratch probably, and it probably took you a long time to get it up and running. Well, you can do it again, only this time you can do it better. If you follow the best practices I've showed you today, there's no reason why you can't get through this and survive it. And if you get to the other side, you're going to thrive in parts because not everybody's going to make it. So you're going to have the opportunity to gain market share. So plan on that. Plan on growing your business beyond what it is today. Get through the next 3 to 6 months and grow your business bigger. It's a great opportunity. Great opportunity to start a new business, by the way. Mark Cuban said as much this week. On national television, somebody called in asking the question. He says it's a great time. Why? Because it's about innovation, adapting and innovation. And these are his words: the company that innovates the most will be the most successful. So if you want to start a new business, great time. Come up with a new, innovative way to deliver services under this new normal we're living in, and you will succeed. If you want to learn more about this, I tried not to promote this that much. I wanted to just give you some good solid advice on how to get your business started, how to restart your business and get it going again. But if you like what you heard, we're going to have a longer version, a lot more content. It's only $99. It's going to be in addition to what you saw today, and you'll be able to go online and watch it at your leisure. You don't have to consume it all at one time. There'll be at least 3 hours of content. And I'm going to very briefly run through here and show you what we'll cover in the course. So we'll teach you how to build a marketing machine, one using automated marketing platform like Keep. Doesn't have to be Keep, something that captures and nurtures leads. We'll show you all the best practices in that. We'll show you, if you have a sales staff, how you can have your marketing department generating leads, nurturing leads, and giving qualified leads to your sales department. And my gosh, will they ever love you if you do that for them. That also drives down both the cost of marketing and the cost of the sale. It's just the smartest thing to do, particularly if you have a sales force. We're going to have a special module. These are all individual modules, by the way. I haven't counted how many because I've just put this program together. So we'll have a module on the voice of the customer. The voice of the customer is how you understand your customer. The success of your business depends on this, right? You need to understand how they want to be served. You need to understand what kind of customer experience they want and expect. And you need to manage their expectations, but also live up to that. And engagement's key to making that happen, because you engage your customer not just when they transact with your business, but every time they engage with you, from marketing to sales to delivery, all along the way. That's all part of the customer experience. We're going to have a whole module on customer segments, which I gave you one example of that today. You can segment your customers any way that makes sense. It's an important thing to do because you need to modify how you engage with each segment. And you need to make sure they're real and not just something that you think is real. We'll show you how to do all that. Segmentation allows you to develop campaigns that target specific customer segments with information and promotions designed specifically for them. That means you can better manage your budgets and produce higher return on investment. We'll have a whole module on customer personas. A persona is simply a made-up fictional character that represents a customer segment. It's a very useful thing to do. You can actually use customer personas when creating ads. You can write scripts that are based on customer personas. When you watch national advertising campaigns, for example, almost every character in a national advertising campaign is a persona. It may be a global persona representing their entire customer base, but very often they run separate campaigns with separate personas, and you can pick up on that. So here's a very simple one for a B2B business. Julie Johnson, a made-up fictional character, she's a COO of a business, and her challenges are growing businesses and dealing with the challenge of driving innovation. If you're a B2B business, that may be a perfect customer segment for you. So we'll cover all that, teach you how to do it. We'll have another module on competitive research. It's easier to do, and you don't necessarily have to spend a lot of time doing it, if nothing more than just following the ads and promotions that your customers are doing. The one thing you want to know about your competition is everything. And we'll show you how you can do that pretty easily. And then we'll also finally have a segment or a module about a SWOT analysis. I've alluded to this today, talked about your strengths and weaknesses a little bit, mostly focus on opportunities and threats. So SWOT analysis is just that. You look at strengths and weaknesses which are internal to your business, things like capacity, leadership, expertise. Agility is an important one. That's your ability to adapt to any situation, including, guess what, a pandemic like this one. And the external threats we actually already touched on. So we'll have a separate module on that. We'll also talk about content strategy. If you need to acquire new customers, content is the best way to do that. We'll talk about doing a content marketing campaign, show you how to do that. Very powerful, very easy to do. It doesn't take a lot of content to do a content campaign. And we're also going to give you an advertisement checklist, which is everything that your ad should be. We have a little checklist, 14 points. Some of these are not absolutely required, but most of them are. We'll show you how that works, and it'll help you produce better ads. So just remember, we are coming out of this very, very challenging situation. Sadly, I don't think everybody's going to survive business-wise. I think a lot of small businesses are going to disappear, and that's very painful. I think is a great opportunity for a lot of new businesses to come online and take advantage of the opportunities that are going to be appearing in the marketplace over the next 12 months. I hope that you found this useful. I hope that you take it to heart, and I hope you apply it to your business. If you do, if you restart your business, please let me know what happens. I want to hear from you. You can contact me. Go to our website, growthsolutionstv.com. You can find my contact information. You can use the contact form. You can email me directly. However you reach me, I don't care. My business site is HB Mako. My email is bruce@hbmako. You can use that to reach me directly. Let me know if you took any of this advice and how did it work out. I would like to know what kind of plan that you put in place and what was the outcome, and share that with me. I may even like to talk to you in person. I may like to interview you on my show. We're here for you, and we're going to do everything we can to help you get through this and help you be successful. And if you are, please let me know. I want to hear from you. Thank you, and come back for more.